Good evening and welcome to December 4th, 2023, Common Council, City Council. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilman Clarence Werner.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing if you'd like for the invocation.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
1 Timothy chapter 2, Paul is telling Timothy about the importance of prayer. And he says it this way: I urge then, first of all, that petitions, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. That's the promise. Holy God, my Father, thank you for overshadowing our community with your love and protective presence. This evening I lift up those who are in the offices that govern in Connersville and Fayette County. Help them to make wise decisions which are always in the best interests of the community. God, please bless our men and women in city government, the mayor's office, this council, all elected and appointed officials, and certainly those who put themselves in harm's way like law enforcement, firefighters, and EMS workers. I'm so thankful for each one who serves to make our city what it is today. Thank you for your guidance as tonight's meeting begins. In the precious name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. Remind you to please turn off your cell phones. We'll begin with roll call.
Councilman Williams Jr. Councilwoman Phillips.
Present.
Councilman Robb.
Present.
Councilman Gray.
Present.
Councilman Collins.
Here.
Councilman Werner.
Here.
Councilwoman Barrett.
Present.
Okay, everyone has the minutes from the November 20th, 2023 regular meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those? Not entertain a motion to pass the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on down to new business. We have our public hearing for the approval of pending ordinance 3931. I will open the public hearing up now. Is anyone from the public have anything to say on the pending ordinance 3931, which is the additional appropriation that we advertised? Was it 2 weeks?
Yes, at least 10 days ago.
Yeah.
No one's done.
No one?
Nope.
I can't see if anyone's out there. Not, I'll close the public hearing. Anyone from council have any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approving pending ordinance 3931 on first reading.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. I have a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. And I have a motion for third and final reading.
So moved.
I have a motion and a
Second.
second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item B, you have the utility asset approval. Rosemary, you want to talk about that?
A couple years ago, we approved a new asset policy for the city, which also includes Connersville Utilities. And at the time, the utilities did not change their ongoing practice because they were getting ready to go through a software change, and they was going to adjust it then. Well, their software change was a mess. So now we're trying to implement this, and we would like to have the policy grandfathered in where all of our current assets stay on the old policy moving forward, and all new purchased items will be processed according to our new policy. Is that correct, Adam?
Perfect, thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Adam? If not, entertain a motion to approve the utility assets.
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Move on down to item C, approval of resolutions 2023-89 and 90 IC code transfer. Rosemary.
Resolution 2023-89 is a resolution to transfer $240,000 from the Food Truck Challenge Fund back into the general fund. Resolution 2023-90 is a resolution to transfer $11,000 from mayor promotional, $1,700 from mayor travel into $2,400 into celebration of the bill, $9,000 into the Winterfest, and $1,300 into the restricted farm to table.
I move we pass resolution number 2023-89 and 90.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item D, approval of resolutions 2023-91 is the approval of the declaratory resolutions of the Redevelopment Commission and the Area Plan Commission. Adam, you on here, sir?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Good. This is, can you repeat the development?
I'm sorry, we're on D, approving the declaratory resolutions of the Redevelopment Commission and the Area Plan Commission.
Yes, very good. So tonight, what you have before you is the redevelopment order. This is the third step in the process. This has been, the declaratory boundary was initially proposed and approved at the Redevelopment Commission, has went through 2 meetings of the Area Plan Commission, was passed at the last meeting. This resolution essentially confirms at the council level really the action that the Redevelopment Commission took, as well as the action that the Area Plan Commission took, both as separate appointed bodies and designated bodies of the City Council to this. This isn't the final step. This doesn't complete the TIF process. This is really just the council acknowledging those 2 previous. Council can make or suggest different edits, and then ultimately, when it leaves the council, if approved, would go to the Redevelopment Commission. That will be the final step in January. That would be the public hearing, and that would also be where the tax impact statement is provided to all the overlapping units of government, including the city, and any final discussions and ultimate decision on whether or not to establish the new economic development area and allocation area, for that matter, at that point in time. Happy to take any questions that you may have.
Anybody got any questions for Adam? I know we sent out the videos to everyone to watch of everything we recorded we did several TIF 101 meetings over the past year. We recorded and sent them out for everyone to watch. So, anybody have any questions for Adam while you're here? While you're here? Well, no questions. I will ask for approval of resolutions 2023-91, approval of declaratory resolution for the Redevelopment Commission and the Area Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Item E, we have the approval of resolution 2023-92, the match commitment for the help grant for art funds. Where did Mike? Oh, see, you were hidden. You want to come on up, sir?
Sure. We're doing the public hearing first, the resolution.
I want you to talk about it and then we'll do the public hearing. How's that?
Sure. The resolution you have before you tonight is for the HELP project, the $1 million of funding we received from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. This resolution commits the matching funds of $88,000 in the form of ARPA funds contingent upon getting the $1 million from Oakland. This also authorizes the mayor to submit the grant application.
Anybody have any questions for Mike while he's here before I open it up? Okay, if not, I will open up a public hearing, then we will open them back up for council questions and comments, and then we'll go for approval. Okay? So if you guys want to stick around in case someone has a question, you can answer, but I will now open up,
I want to read a couple things if I can, Mayor.
sorry, go ahead.
All right, sorry. So OCA requires that I read through a couple things before and talk about the project, and then we open it up for public comment. So Mike Klein-Peter with Klein-Peter Consulting Group. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today. We're the certified grant administrator assisting the city with this project. Notice for this public hearing was posted in the News Examiner on November 22nd. This is our second official public hearing. We will be applying for a HELP grant for the park in the amount of $1 million, and we'll be contributing $88,000 in matching funds. These matching funds will consist of the city's ARPA funds and are contingent upon getting a grant award. We had a meeting with OCRA back on August 14th, 2023. OCRA, which stands for the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, I see some new faces out in the crowd today, felt that this Office Park project was the preferred project as it matched the goals of the HELP grant and strongly encouraged the city to have an engineering firm look closely at the cost estimates. Therefore, we went through an RFQ process looking for an engineering firm. HWC was selected and put together cost estimates and an aerial, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. With this, we want to make sure that citizens are fully informed. They have the opportunity to ask any questions, voice any concerns or support for the project they may have. We'll be submitting in early January. As you know, the city has already been awarded these funds, so the $1 million is set aside there, but we just have to go through this formal application process. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ms. Rebecca with HWC to tell you a little bit about the project.
Yes, so Office Park is located on the north side of downtown Connersville. It's approximately an 8-acre park. There's also an approximately about 1.7 acre parcel on the west side of the property that would make up the project's limits of the park. So improvements existing there currently is a basketball court, entrance drive, some parking, a foosball court, and a playground, and just generally it's mostly open space. So this project is proposing improvements to the existing basketball court, as well as kind of renovating the entrance drive, adding some more parking to the parking lot, and adding in a 3/4 mile walking trail that's 8 feet wide throughout the park that will have fitness stations located along that trail that will can cater to various levels of to people with different levels of fitness and different age groups. So, and part of that trail also will connect on the west side. There's already an existing footpath going through there, so we put another trail in, and in the future that can connect up to Walmart. There's also some trail nodes on the southeast side of the site where you can connect to the nickel plate trail in the future. There will be a large shelter that can be programmed in various different ways, whether that's events or, you know, some sort of programming that you have with the Parks Department, fitness groups, courses, or you can rent it out. And then there'll also be other amenities such as benches, hand washing stations, and hand sanitizing stations.
Just let know the audience, they're just signing that they're here for the public hearing. It's not getting you in trouble, you're not signing up for any work in progress kind, so you're just signing that you're here.
You won't be contacted or anything.
That's order of speaking, so you come up next.
Sorry about that.
No.
Any questions about the project, about the process? We did go through the environmental review that we received the final response from the State Historic Preservation Office last week. I forwarded that to the mayor, sent back the concurrence letter. So we're in that last 30-day process, but everything's done, no issues. So really, it's just about submitting our application January 14th. We could use some letters of support from the residents and public and council that just says in favor of having these physical health fitness activities in this area and how you or your family would benefit from it. That would help us in our application. You know, that's there's a certain scoring criteria we gotta get to. We think we're gonna get there, but that'll just help us make sure we hit that level.
You have a name and an address to send these letters to, or an email address?
You could send them to Mike at kleinpeterconsulting.com or to Jolisa. Would Jolisa be a good contact to collect
Yes.
these? Jolisa at the city would be a good person to get these letters to. We'd like them probably by the end of the year, you know. They could just be an email, it could be handwritten, it could be, you know, just some comments that I'm in favor of it, I'm aware of it.
I know before we get too much in the public hearing, I did want to explain, because we've made a major shift in this project.
yeah.
I mean, a major shift. Because if you remember our first SIP, we did not designate $1 million towards this. We had 3 projects we were really looking at. Okra kind of kicked one out instantly. And then as we were working through this, the CDBG dollars was becoming very difficult. Is that the easiest way to say that?
A lot of restrictions.
A lot of restrictions. And this meets the CDBG guidelines. What we were going to use to do the Roberts Park portion of it, with the amount of what the CDBG monies would cover, it was going to make the entire project fall under the guidelines, which was going to make that project twice as much, twice more expensive. And then they also wanted us to focus on this project first before the other project. They kind of changed that around on us last minute now. So in order to keep the cost of the second project within reason, we just went ahead and stuck all the CDBG dollars in this project. So,
One of the big factors is, since this is federal money, we have to pay Davis-Bacon wages on any work that's done on this project. So if we would have used, you know, $850,000 in this project and then carried $150,000 of CDBG funds to Roberts Park, now everything that's done in Roberts Park has to be paid federal funds for, which would have escalated the cost of that one. So after talking with the city, and it was decided it made more sense to focus on this one. And then now, Roberts Park's still happening. This Okra is gonna require the city spend their money on that project. It's still happening, it's still a go, but now you guys are kind of blank canvas and you don't have any of those requirements put on you.
right. And it's more than just Davis-Bacon wages.
It is more
Now
than
we
just
got-
that.
I mean, it's going to be
You
a
had
lot
to go
more.
through SHPO, you had additional environmental, you probably
There's a
would have had
lot.
archaeological reconnaissance report, so it just kind of added.
It added a lot.
So on the fitness stations with the pictures that you have here, are these the ones that are chosen, or are these just examples of what you could put in?
They're just precedent imagery of what we could put in.
If you remember, we also looked at putting one big like fitness station in the
Right.
middle. When we dove into it, I actually talked to some mayors that has put a few in, and they didn't get used like everyone anticipated. So actually HWC kind of brought it to my attention, because that's why we hired them. They're parks experts. They're like, we like that, but here's what we're seeing. So this really shifted because of their expertise and then talking to other mayors, and this is a really good layout, what people tend to use the most.
And Okra really liked it because this is COVID money. And so because it's COVID money, they saw the using more of the park, increases social distancing at each station, and had some of those requirements. So that's why they really liked it. And that's one of the reasons for the hand washing stations, as well as to kind of tie it back to COVID.
And the structure, we weren't going to put a structure in there, a building, and the residents that we talked to when we had a meeting of it, and was during the SIPs, a lot of them mentioned it'd be nice to have a shelter up there, right? So now they're going to put a shelter up there, which would be good.
Yep.
So I will open up the public hearing, and then we'll do council questions, comments, and then we can, so you guys just want to stay up there. I'll
Yep.
open up the public hearing, one from the public, and anything to say. It's your opportunity, guys. Always get a quiet bunch.
I know, right?
Okay, I will close the public hearing and open it up for council questions, comments, anything.
I don't know if anybody's seen the like tire tracks and everything through the park going from Grand Avenue over to Virginia. Is there a way to put some barricades up of some type to prevent, especially around the playground area, because cars cut through there all the time? They cut through there, they park the cars, they do all sorts of things, mechanic stuff.
I mean, certainly, you can put either bollards in there. One thing that is a little less expensive, but we can't do because of the Okra funds, is landscaping. So you could come in later and do that. Or you could put in bollards that are vehicular rated. They're kind of expensive, but that they could help stop someone from coming into the park. And you would space those every so feet
They're
apart.
driving on Grand all the way through?
Oh yeah, I mean, you drive by it, you can see the tire tracks.
Wow.
They've done that for years.
Yeah, it's just, if we're gonna put stuff in a
Yeah.
park that's gonna now actually be used, we need to adjust a few things.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the budget is certainly flexible because there are some options on different fitness things that we can do. So, and we also are using poured-in-place surfacing for those fitness stations. We could also do an engineered wood fiber instead. We are suggesting safety surfacing because it's likely that kids are going to climb on it and play and they could fall. So we do suggest either engineered wood fiber or poured-in-place. For the, you know, trying to get to that $1 million, we were able to put poured in place, so maybe we can take some of that and put it, you know, engineer wood fiber and do bollards instead to prevent people from driving through the park.
I got a question for you, because something happened here after we've done all this, was somebody was breaking some glass bottles around the playground. How's that work with poured in place versus the engineered rubber?
Glass,
Which
yeah.
is the easiest to keep clean?
Definitely, probably the poured in place, because I mean, you know, engineered wood fiber is basically, it looks exactly like mulch, but it is a specific product, but it looks like mulch, so people are breaking glass. But we can work through some design to try to value engineer in an option that can prevent
Okay.
once we get to that phase.
Anybody else, questions, comments?
I noticed there's gonna be lighting on this facility, correct?
Yes.
How is that gonna be diverted from the residents that lives in that general area to where it's not gonna interrupt their life?
Yeah, we can specify, you can put in like where the lights go off at, you know, dawn to dusk, you can turn those off. But if you want them for security lighting, we can do like a cutoff so it doesn't like glare into people's homes or yards. There's different ways to prevent against that from going into people's yards.
I mean, I don't live there, but obviously I think it'd be something that should be looked into.
Some more
Yeah.
downward lighting instead of
Downward.
instead of like the spotlight lighting.
Yep. I can't remember, there's like a night sky type of, some places are considered night sky, or they have like qualifications where they do that, and they make specific types of light for that where it cuts off and doesn't add more light pollution to an area. So we can look into those types of specific lights.
Anybody else? If not, I would like to entertain the approval of resolutions 2023-92, the match commitment for help grant from the ARP dollars.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you very much. Going down to old business. Is there any old business?
I said this at the Board of Works meeting today, but I want to commend everyone that had any part in Winterfest this weekend. It was phenomenal. I hope that all of you were able to go. It gets better every year, and these people put out an unbelievable amount of work. It doesn't just appear, and then there's a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of passion that goes into that, and it was well worth it. It was a wonderful event.
And if you haven't been to the park, you better go see the park.
Yes, it is. I'm glad you said that because it is. It's a great display.
I want you to see our display more than anything. No, I'm just kidding.
So you want us to vote for your display?
Yes, I'm putting it.
That was the whole point of doing the competition, so. there's one thing about competitions, they always grow every year. So we got it started this year, just like Winterfest. It got started and it's growing, and the Christmas light displays in the park, they're gonna grow more. I hear people talking about next year. I mean, oh, we wish we would've done that now. We're gonna get on this next year. So every year it's just a point we can grow. We can add more electricity and more spots and everything. So
And the park is beautiful.
it is beautiful. So kudos to everyone who worked their tails off getting this set up this year. I mean, there was a lot that happened to get ready for Winterfest between downtown and the park. So I'm excited to see how it grows in the future. So good job to everyone who took part in that. Any other miscellaneous business? Anybody from the public have anything to say? Opportunity again. No? Okay, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Have a motion second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Have a good evening.
Thank you.